All right. So all right. So obviously we're in like one of the most beautiful spots. What is the pool and stuff? Is it cool? Yeah. Right. We did some racing today. Maybe you can show them like the pool in the back, like for the audience. Obviously, yeah, that's the long course pool. We're working out this morning, all the swimmers, and then we got the short course pool here. We're gonna have an open workout this afternoon where the parents who are here are gonna come here. But I want to welcome everybody to so we call it a 5-day challenge. We did say it's for parents, but because we have this kind of unique opportunity to do it together with the parents and the swimmers, which puts us in a very like unique kind of position to make the most out of it. Because the idea is, okay, parents want to support you, right? They want to do the best that they can for you without adding more pressure. But at the same time, they don't like, if they were not a competitive swimmer, they don't really like understand what you're going through. So we can share that with them and we can give them tools so they can better support you, because we can teach you. But if you have the best tools in the world, you do the best things, and the environment at home isn't ideal, then it's only going to be that effective, right? And if we can all align and pull on the same string in the same direction, that's when we're going to get the absolute best results. Make sense? And that's what this challenge is about. So wave to your parents. Cool. I guess you can't see them now. Okay. I'll start with a quick story, because for me, almost my entire swimming career, I struggled with, let's call it severe, like race anxiety, where you like training really well, hitting good times in training and stuff, preparation is going well, and then the competition comes and everything goes to shit. Excuse my language, right? I'm trying not to swear a lot, but that's exactly what happened. And so I got recruited to the University of Virginia. You guys know the University of Virginia, right? So it's a pretty good school. And I was training, and because I wasn't training in Zurich any longer, but I was training in America, everything, they trained a lot faster, a lot better. The mindset was a lot better. I got like pulled up into their environment and I started to do even better in training, right? And it was the third year. The first year, I didn't swim that well. Second year, also at NCAAs, not that well, right? I was supposed to score a lot of points because I had a 90% scholarship, which means, it was like 50,000 a year. And so they paid 45,000 of that. And I was, almost a full ride, right? Which is kind of rare. And I didn't score a lot of points. And then in the third year, I started to train like even better. And the times in training were like crazy. And we went to ACCs, which is the regionals. So there's NCAAs, which is all America. And there's ACCs, SECs, is all these like regional thing, but like high level, right? And I was in the best shape of my life. I'm not kidding. And like during the warm up, like the times I was hitting so easy, so smooth, everybody kind of knew, including myself, this was going to be my breakout year. And my parents were there, right? Obviously, like, America, swimming, college swimming is a huge thing. So it was wild. And I went in the locker room and I was positive that this is my year, right? This is when I can finally like be a big asset to the team and everything. And I started putting on my suit and all that, and I make my way to the call room, and then it happened again. I started to, it's like a light switch where something happens. I start to get in my head, started to get super nervous, starting to like shake a little bit. I had like troubles breathing. I felt almost like sick a little bit, not like vomiting, but just, I did not want to be there all of a sudden, even though I was so excited and everything was pointing like, okay, this is going to be it, right? This is the year. And then I swam like shit. That was the first race. And then the first race I was crying then already. And then that led to another bad race the next day and another bad race. And then on the fourth day, it was a 4-day competition. Like, again, I was crying. I'm like kind of a big dude, I was crying, not a good look. And because I disappointed my coaches, my teammates, I disappointed my parents who flew over, right? It felt like a failure, and I disappointed myself again. And it happened so many years over and over and over again. And then there, I was just like totally destroyed. And I walked into the locker room to just be like alone. And I sat on the floor and I was crying. And my coach is like small Italian guy. He like saw it and he followed me and he sat down next to me for a little while and just kind of let me be. And then he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, look, David, you cannot always control what happens to you, but use the disappointment and the frustration that you're feeling right now to make a decision that this will never, ever happen to you again. And that you'll do whatever it takes that it doesn't happen again, because the next year is the Olympic year. It's your last year and stuff. And so we can still get this right. Now, his words didn't take the disappointment away in the moment, right? I was still crying and super sad and like frustrated and all that. But I knew he was right. And so right there and then in that locker room on the floor, I made a decision that this will never happen again. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I made a decision that I'm going to change it. And then you know what happened? Three weeks later, the University of Virginia hired the sports psychologist of Michael Phelps, Dr. Jim Bauman. Okay, Michael Phelps. Guess out of the hundreds of athletes that we had at the University of Virginia, right? We had like 70, 75 swimmers, but they were football, and he was, responsible for the whole university, so to say, right? Guess who was the first person in his office? Me, right? He just arrived on campus. He had his office and stuff. The sofa, the couch was still on the wall. We sat on the floor and he started coaching me. And I'll tell you in a second what the first lesson was. But basically what happened, we started working together. And then I started to train even better. And then that last year, I multiple ACC champion. I had the second fastest time in the NCAA. I made the Olympic team. I got a Swiss record at the Olympics in London 2012 in front of 15,000 people, which is something that I could never have imagined that this would actually happen. And it happened very, very fast. Okay. All the training that I've done, it's actually kind of a miracle that I made it for that long. But I was thinking about quitting and giving up and all that, but I loved swimming. I had like a passion for swimming that kept me in the sport for a long time. Also, my parents didn't push me when I was really young, so I didn't burn out. That helped. Okay. But then it was absolutely incredible how the mental stuff unlocked all the things that I had done until then. And it all came together in the most important moments in the last year. Right. And after that, I was done swimming, because coming back to Switzerland, it wasn't like I wanted to go another 4 years, because I was at the end of my career. I was 24 when all this happened. And then in Switzerland, it wasn't the same as in America. And I said, okay, it's time for me to do something else, because I didn't see myself training in Switzerland another 4 years. And I went into banking a little bit. And then I came back and was like, okay, it actually would have been nice to kind of know these things when I was 13, 14 or whatever, instead of 24, because it changed my life so much. And that's when the idea came to me, okay, why don't we give the things that I was taught by the sports psychologist of Phelps, which it doesn't, in swimming, it doesn't get much better than that, right? Why don't we teach that to you guys so you have them early on and you can be more successful than us? Does that make sense? So that's where this is coming from. I'll show you what the first lesson. So when I got into his office, he explained to me the ladder to success. Now, again, I'm going to draw this out for you because I had this huge aha moment, and I hope that you're going to have the same kind of aha moment so that you know what the game plan is moving forward. Okay. So I got there and he used a whiteboard, it was a flip chart, but something like that. And here's what he said. He said, up here is your next level of success. In swimming, okay? Specifically, now we're talking about swimming. Now, I put a heart around it because that should be something that you really want, okay? That you're passionate about, ambitious about, something that you really want, okay? And that could be getting a PB. It could be doing an event for the first time. It could be to get in a national team. It could be to qualify for a specific event. It could be making the Olympics. It could be doing a world record. It doesn't matter. It's just that next level that really excites you. Does that make sense? Okay. And we're going to work on that. If you don't know what that is, we need to figure that out. Right? Because otherwise you don't know. We need to know where you want to go. Okay. Just as a side note, you need to know where you want to go, because if you don't know, how would anybody else know? And then the other thing is, when you know this is where I want to go, then everybody around you, coaches, people like us, parents, right? We can align around you and help you make that possible. But we need to know what it is that you want, right? Okay. So next level of success, whatever that is. Okay. And then he said there's a ladder that leads to that next level of success. So the ladder, okay, this is a not very straight ladder. But The ladder has three parts. It has a left leg, it has a right leg, and it has this middle part. Okay. And he said that as swimmers, we can only train three things. Big picture. What are they? What's the first thing that we can train? Technique. Brody. Okay, technique, right? So he put the technique as the right leg. Technique. Okay, you can train your technique. What else can we train? Speed. Yeah, tell me more. Yeah, okay, that's the end result. Dylan? The body, right? Okay, so the body, and that he put that here. So he said, this is the body, this is technique. Now, for the body, right, that would be things. What's the last thing? What's the last thing, Jenny? The mind, right? So, and he put that here in the middle. So we got body, we got technique, and we got the mind. So body, what's the body? So body is endurance, right? It would be explosiveness, more for the sprinters. It would be like your weight training. It would be resistance training, just recovery, okay? What you eat, how much you sleep, what you drink, massages, right? All of that with your physical body. Does that make sense? Okay. Technique is, how would we destroy? I mean, you guys know what technique is, right? It's like in freestyle, fly, it's the high catch, for example. Really good example. It could also be doing starts, underwaters, technique stuff, right? Very important. And then the third thing is what's going on between the ears. Okay. And here's what he said, and that's when I had the aha moment. He said that in order to be successful and get to that next level that we want to get to, that we aspire to get to, we need to have all three, the body, the technique, and the mind at a high level at the same time. Because if we don't, we're not going to get there. So let me give you an example. If you are mentally the best prepared in the world, you're Michael Phelps, Leon Marchand strong mentally, right? And you have a beautiful technique, totally capable of the next level of success, but you have the flu and the 40-degree fever, or you got a broken shoulder, it's not going to work out very well. It's not going to work out at all, okay? Because we're missing the body. Now, if you're mentally super strong and you have your body is in the best shape of your life, but you just went in the flume channel, which we're going to do soon, right? And you changed your entire technique the night before, you're going to be totally confused, and it's also not going to go very well because the technique isn't dialed in yet, right? You haven't automized the technique. Make sense? And in the last case, and that's what was happening with me, is that the body is in great shape. The technique is dialed in. Maybe it's not world class, but it's capable of the next level of success, right? How do we know? Because the times in practice proved it when there was no pressure. So Joshua this morning, you swam a PB, right? In the fifth. So we know, okay, without pressure, you can do it. Right? That was me. But then what happened was in competition, under stress, the mind broke down for me. I got so nervous, so anxious that the mind wasn't allowing me to go here, even though physically and technically I would have been totally capable to actually be here. Does that make sense? So now the question is, which of these is the most important? Number 3. I can't like prove it to you. It's an interesting kind of conversation. But when you think about it, just logically thinking it through, I have a feeling, I have a sense it is the mind. Because if you're mentally stronger, you will be able to, for example, in training, when we do hard stuff, you're going to be able, given that you don't have any like bad kind of pain, as Milorad always says, right? You'll be able to push yourself beyond what you've done in the past, and your body will go, oh shit, she did a workout she's never done before. Let us adjust to that. Make sense? You will also make, if you're mentally strong and you got better habits, what we talked about with Rebecca yesterday, you will make better choices around food, right? You'll skip the shitty food and have better food. You'll start eating at the right time. You'll do less of the phone in the middle of the night, and right, there's a lot of you'll make a lot of better decisions that will help you level up your body a lot faster. Okay. And then for technique, we always say, and you'll explain this like really well, he like broke it down. Technique, you need a coach. That's true. You need to have a coach who can tell you What's the one thing that you need to change in your technique that will have the biggest effect on your speed? Not 8 things, because like you can't in freestyle, you're not going to be able to watch your rotation, your catch, your rhythm, and your head movement at the same time. Why not? Because you're not an octopus. Okay. And so you need to know the one thing that will have the biggest effect on how fast you swim. And once you know that, you need a good coach to tell you that. But once you know that, it is purely mental. Because what do you have to do after that? When you know what the one thing is, what do you need to do? Remember it, and in practice, you got to do this thing with every single stroke that you're doing. And then theoretically, that is the fastest way to get better, because you do it and you think about it, you're focused on it, you concentrate it, you do it, you do it, you do it, you do it until your body has internalized it. Make sense? And that's why we believe that it starts with the mind. And when you look, we actually did like a little piece of research, but also I read about 50, 60 autobiographies of very successful people and a lot of athletes, because I'm just like interested in how they think. When you ask them, from Ronaldo, Kobe Bryant, the tennis players, Nadal, like the girl, it doesn't matter. You ask them how you got there. What's the biggest difference between you and the others? What do they all say? Huh? Mindset. They all say the same thing. There's not a single one who says, oh, it's because I got a big right hand. Like nobody's saying that. Or it's like because I got a big biceps. Or because like, nobody says that. It's everything is in the mind. Everybody. And if they all say it in business, as parents, as athletes, they all say the same thing, I have a sense that it's true. Right? And they share it with us. And so they're so successful. So we have to listen to them. Right? If we want to, right? Does that make sense? They all say the same thing. Okay. And that was the first lesson. And I had this huge aha moment. And in a way, I was relieved, because I was confused. I was frustrated. I was devastated. And then he was like, okay, what we need to do, we need to unlock your mind. For me, it was under pressure. Okay. So that everything that's already here, that you can access it in the most important moments. Because then what happens is, what's the best feeling for a swimmer? Tell me, what's the best feeling? Huh? To win? Okay, what else? Crush a PB, right? Who would say winning is the best feeling? Okay, so all right. And who would say like crushing your PB is the best feeling? All right, because you're beating yourself, right? And so what happens then is,
best feeling is winning with a PB.
Winning with a PB. Oh, I like it. Yeah, winning with a PB. Winning with big ass PB. Okay? I agree. And then what happens is, when you have it, I'm not like, you'll see as we go through the challenge, it's not like you're never going to have your down moments. Okay. They're also important experience and part of the journey, but the swimming journey will become so much more fun when in the most important moments you actually deliver, because then it goes from like frustration, what am I doing here, doubting, worrying and stuff, to like actually just there and like, oh my God, I can't wait to race. And then you go, you swim freely and you freaking enjoy it, right? That's when you do your best. So that's the idea. And then the whole thing, when you're having fun, you're learning more, and it's just like you're going to be a better human being. On top of that, this is also why we're so excited about it, because yes, we're using swimming. Why? Because it's a performance thing and we can measure it, and you guys love it and we love it. But really, what it allows us to do, that you have this passion and this drive and ambition to perform, you can learn so much about life. To like deal with this, you guys are the top 1%. Like other people in your school and stuff, they think you're probably a bit crazy, like getting up early, like making, going training camps and holidays and stuff, right? But you can level up and get prepared for what life has for you afterwards like crazy, because like the body skills and the technique skills, they kind of stay when you're done swimming. That's kind of it. I mean, especially the technique, well, the body, maybe like the V kind of stays a little bit, but the skills, the mental skills to deal with pressure, to kind of come back after a setback, to make the right choices, to build good habits, all that stuff, it's going to be with you for life. And that's why you guys are so valuable in the working world. There's so many entrepreneurs because you guys are go-getters. There's so much that you can learn. That's why we always say competitive swimming, for us, we think is the best life school that you can have. Because other kids your age, they're like on the phone, scrolling all day, right? They're not used to like pushing through pain and like doing hard things, right? But you get to connect, you get to go on camps and beautiful, you make friends and all that. It's like, made a good choice, a hard choice, but a good one. Does that make sense so far? Okay. So now what I want everybody to do is, so we're all on school, right? Parents, oh, I got to wave here. Okay. I got a few like reflection questions for you. And so when you go in the school app, there's a pinned post. I want you to use the comment section there. And the first question that I have for you is for the swimmers. What is your goal for the 2026 season? And try to be as specific as you can. If you don't know it, think about it and put it down so we have it and we can still like refine it and work with it. For the parents, I want you to please put in because it's going to be very interesting, right? When we have parents and swimmers, because we can pair it up. I want you to write down what you think your swimmer's goal is for 2026. Because I'm curious if you know, if there's like conversations about that going on. So, and don't be afraid to give a wrong answer or whatever. It's going to be some fun. Okay. So in the comments of that pinned post, write down what you think your swimmer's goal is for 2026. And the swimmers write down what their goal is for 2026. Okay. So just take some time to do that in the comments. Oh, I'm so curious now. Okay, and don't be shy. Everybody put something in there. There's no right and wrong answer with that. Okay.
Discussing it.
Yeah, it's just for you, right? Yeah, you don't need to discuss it. It's also not set in stone for the rest of your life. We can change it, but I want to see where we're at. Okay, and parents, don't be shy. Please share because it's going to be like very interesting to just kind of see. Okay, see. 201, 200 butterfly. I love it. Become a national swimmer. Yeah. Brody just ran a 30. What did you go? 32-0 this morning? 50 breast?
50 breast, 51. No, 31. My bad.
Cool. Okay, you swimmers, let me know when you're done. Who needs more time? Yeah, a little more time. Cool. And like the cool thing about the school thing is now that we can have the comments in there, so we have everything in writing. And believe it or not, we can use AI to extract everything and like summarize it, or like even like it's pretty cool things we can do. We can always go back. Yul and I have something in writing. You know, it's good to have everything there. Parents doing okay? Yeah, don't be shy. I can't check right now, but yeah, you could check, I guess, if the parents are put in. Oh, okay. I'll do that. Okay. Can you accept Liel in the group? Okay. All right. We'll move on. For those of you who are ready for question 2. Question 2 is, and that's just a yes or no. Right? And he's just honest. Again, there's no right and wrong. But the question 2 is, for the swimmers, do you believe that when you go to an important race, do you race at your absolute best? What I mean, can you access everything that you have in that moment? Yes or no? And for the parents, you drop in the chat because you guys go to a lot of competitions, you watch them and stuff. Is your sense that your kid is doing the absolute best that they can, accessing everything in important competitions, or is there room to improve? Yeah, just yes or no. It's a simple yes or no. If you believe that when you go to a big meet, that you can access the absolute best version of yourself, yes or no?
We need to text it.
Yeah, if you're able to do that, right? If you'd be able to do that consistently. Like, so if you like PB every time you go to a big competition, you probably got it dialed in, right? Or you're really young and then enjoy it as long as it lasts, right? Because there is going to be plateaus at some point. Part of the journey.
There's comments flying in.
Yeah, it's good. It's one of everybody. Oh, I can't wait to read him. And parents, thank you for playing along, eh? And then also for the parents or just people who are watching the recording, you have the pin post, you'll have it there, and you just drop it in the comments. Doesn't matter if it's later, you just drop it in the comments. Oh yeah, because I'll say the free suit. Chance to win the free suit. Say it later. Okay. Okay. And then third question. Everybody ready? So this one. Hey Lara, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Third question. Okay, this one is important also for you and myself. When you go to a important competition, what is the biggest emotional pain? What's the biggest worry at the competition? Okay. And again, swimmers, what is it for you? What's the biggest worry? You know, is it that the suit is going to rip? Is it that you're not going to PB? Is it that you can't sleep? Like, what is the biggest emotional pain? Is it that you're worried to mess up and disappoint your parents? Are you worried about disappointing yourself, your coach, like whatever? What's the biggest emotional pain that you have? And for the parents, what is the biggest emotional pain for you guys? I mean, I understand swimmers for sure, and parents had so many conversations. So that's a time to be like honest. What is the biggest worry for you, right? And again, pairing them up and like actually having a conversation about that can be so like empowering and so freeing when we find out, oh, my mom doesn't care if I right do that or that. So please drop it in the chat, in the comments. That's the last question I have for you. Okay. Time to be honest. It's good to be honest. I love this. Showing the palm trees. Hello, palm trees.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's just your emotional pain, right?
Bro, no, don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay. Cool. Then just finish it up. I'll give you like 10, 20 seconds. Finish it up. And then please put the phones away. I got like 5 more minutes just to kind of outline what we got for the next days. Okay. You guys good? Okay. Phones away, please. Phones away. Either phone away, please. We got 5 minutes. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Swimpros over the next 5 days. There's actually an acronym. We call it, Yul and I, we call it the Swimpros system. And the pros of the Swimpros has a specific meaning, and I'll tell you what it is. And then on the next days, we're actually going to speak about it. And we'll give the parents and you to like a simple plan, game plan moving forward on how to develop these. So the first thing, the P, what does the P stand for? What do you think?
You're gonna do a hangman.
No, we're not going to do hangman. It's just like P, the sweet P of Swimpros. What does it stand for? It's not performance because it comes later. It's, yeah, well, it's also power. I like it, but it's preparation. Because, like, in the simplest terms, it's like the more you know, the better you know, the better you'll do. Okay. And a lot of these things, like when I got to work with the sports psychologist of Phelps, I was like, my mind was blown. How did nobody tell me this earlier? You know what I mean? Because all the struggles that I had, there were solutions to all of these problems. It's just that nobody ever told me. Does that make sense? So it's preparation.
With that is also, what is one of the worst things that can happen at a competition? Like if 5 minutes before the race, you don't know what the game plan is for your race, you're not prepared, you're going to shit your pants, right? So if you're actually at a competition and you know you're ready, you're prepared for your race, you know, you did everything you could have done, you're for sure, there's for sure less pressure on you from the get-go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And it's just a lot of like you at your age, you're freestyling everything. But we can do so much better because we can do the things that we know that work. We can do them more often. The things that we know that don't work, we can do them less often. We can start to have the Bolivian farmers, right? Start to like better thoughts. It's just preparation. Okay. And a lot of that is just giving you tools and knowledge that have been around for ages. You just don't know them yet. Okay. And they're simple and so on. Okay. So that's the preparation. The second thing, what does the R stand for? Any guesses? Race? No. Well, not bad. It's coming. Also good, but it's something that when shit hits, when things don't go as expected, what do you need? Resilience, okay? Resilience. Hey, it's arguably because just because you do the Swimpros system and stuff, it doesn't mean that you're not going to run into trouble. You will, but it's like, how do you handle it? Right? Because in life, and the parents will know, life will throw things at you, or people will throw things at you that you can't control. And you don't know, like you can't control what that is, but you can always control how you react to that. Okay. And so resilience is, what do you do when things don't go according to plan? Right? When the first race is shit, what do you do? Okay. When you're like, sometimes you're in super form and whatever you do, you just keep getting better. And then you're on the down wave because the life it comes in waves. And sometimes that down wave can go quite a while. What do you do when it keeps getting worse, worse, worse? What do you do? How do you deal with that? Make sense?
How do you bounce back?
Yeah. How do you bounce back? Because like, honestly, to swim fast when you're feeling fantastic, everybody can do that. And that's what Phelps always said. And Marchand and Bowman, the question is, what do you do when you don't feel great, right? That's where resilience comes in. Right. O. What does O stand for? What is it? Off? Off what? Time off? Yee-hoo. What now? It's a difficult one to guess.
Orientation.
Not ownership. Ownership. What does that mean? Yes, exactly. It's exactly what it means. It means that you take responsibility for your life, for your swimming career, that you're proactive about things, okay? That you make stuff happen. You create your life, you create your swimming journey, and you need to take ownership because you guys are getting old. Well, we're all getting older, but now you're like, you're not like 9 anymore where your mom and dad do everything for you. So you have to like step into that new version of you and like level up, right? And it starts with ownership and saying, okay, I'm responsible for what is happening with and to me. Make sense? Okay. And then the last thing, S, is speed, because you love speed. I do too. But what we mean is it's not just like sprinter specific. It's just like you could say performance too, right? It's just like getting PBs, getting to the results that you want to have.
Fast as possible.
Well, as fast as possible. That's right. And at the same time, and this is like a big thing, as fast as possible. And you want to enjoy, you don't want to you know, it's not like, I'll talk about this later. It's like when you get there, we tend to think, oh, once I have these times, then I'll be happy. Right? But then what happens is already you want to go there. And so you're always chasing it. So the idea is you want to get to your goal as fast as you can. And you want to be happy along the way, because really the most exciting part about the journey is the things that you're learning. Okay. And what we're going to do over the next 5 days is we're going to show you how, and the parents, how we can best develop these character traits, preparation. Well, it's like, how can we best prepare the athletes? How can you develop resilience, ownership, and speed performance in the fastest way possible? Okay, that's the game plan moving forward. Just a few housekeeping things. I guess I got the daily schedule. So it's going to be same thing for us anyway. We're training and stuff. And then we're meeting here. For the parents, it's going to be, you have the Zoom link, same thing, same setup. This works really well. I'm super happy everything works out. You got the replays. I'll put those in the school as well for everybody's watching the replays. And I'm just asking everybody, well, you're going to do it anyway, but for the parents to commit to all 5 days. If you miss a day, watch the recording, right? It's going to be very useful. Drop the comments or drop the answers to the questions in the comments in school so we know you did it. And then also towards the end, we're going to announce, because you guys can win a free suit. But there's going to be something attached to it, right? So, but we asked the community, also people who weren't here, what would be like the best gift that we could give you? And a lot of you preferred a new race suit of your choice to actually having a one-on-one session with world record holder Chavich, which is surprising to me, but we asked you. So there's going to be a chance to win a brand new race suit. We'll announce that a bit later in the days. Okay. So thank you for your attention, and parents, we'll see you tomorrow. Wave to your parents. Hasta mañana.